Is it true that orca populations are starving because of a lack of salmon? Honestly, guys, I don't know. I'm not a marine biologist. This is way over my head. But I am getting the distinct impression that this is way more complex than people are willing to admit. One of the primary claims out there is that the southern resident killer whale's diet consists primarily of Chinook salmon. And since Chinook salmon are also endangered, that must be why the orca populations are declining. But I just found out today that we only started counting southern resident orcas in 1974. And back then they only counted 71. So based on all the attention that this issue has gotten over the past few years, how many southern resident killer whales do you think there are today? According to Washington Fish and Wildlife, it's almost the exact same number. And with a sample size this small, it's impossible for us to make any projections with any kind of statistical accuracy. And speaking of statistics, what would you expect the correlation to be between the population of the orcas and the amount of salmon in the ocean? It turns out that when you compare the habitat of the struggling southern resident orcas to their northern counterparts, their habitat actually has twice as much fish. Now, what does this prove? Honestly, I don't really know. On one hand, it seems absolutely reasonable to think that in the time before colonization, before industrialization, that there were more salmon in the sea and there were more whales to eat them. But this logic that says that if we remove dams, the fish will come back and therefore the orcas will have enough to eat, it just doesn't seem to hold up under scrutiny. But I guess it would be more politically convenient to blame hydroelectric dams 500 miles away than it would be to focus your attention on cleaning up the waterways around Puget Sound.